Hi everyone, this is Gazer back with another update of Super Sprint. I think I'm up to update number 15 now, and I just wanted to, it's been a few weeks since I've done an update, but I have been working on it on and off, and I've got some really nice additions that I've put into the game, which I'm going to demonstrate here. So the game has got eight sort of circuits, and I've done 5 of them, possibly 6 of them up till now, and I just wanted to show you like some of the little intricacies of this game that I guess some people might not be quite aware of. It's got some real like little hidden depth inside of it, which I was never aware of until I sort of really got deep down into it. So I'm going to show you where I'm at. I'm not going to go through the other part, like the intro screen of the game. I'm going to show the tracks of the game that I've made. I'm going to go through tracks 1 through to 6, although I'm skipping number 2 because that's not quite ready yet. So yeah, I'm going to just build each track as kind of in debug mode, and I'll show you where we are. There's one thing to note: there's no sound in the game. Well, there is sound in the game. The modules are done, but there's no sound effects. I've got around about 300k of chip RAM left of a stock Amiga A1200. You know, but I need to sample get the sound effects done right at the I guess that's the last job that I would do, because I just need to make sure I've got all the game sorted out. So I'm going to do a compile, or an assemble I should say, and this is going to be test track number 1. Let's bring this over here. Now there's still bugs in the game, so you're going to see some bits and bobs that will probably crash. I'm expecting it to crash. This is like a raw stream. That's on speed up. So first thing you'll see is that I've got all the helicopters working. All the screen updates are working as they should. It's not corrupting the text, and the reason for that is that I kind of changed the design. Changed the design of the game, which way it was doing. I'm going to play that again. Changed the design of the game because originally the helicopter and the cloud and the puff of smoke were drawn through the blitter, but I've changed that to use 64 wide sprites. So I've moved them from 32 wide sprites to 64 wide sprites. And it actually done me a favour because I've saved around about 10k memory by doing that. But also I've got a huge performance increase. There's just so many advantages to doing that. So yeah. So I'm just going to run through this one again. See if I can beat the drones that up. So quite a few things going on there. All cars crashed. I've got a slight sprite priority problem. I think that's the issue there, where some of the cars are disappearing, but I'm pretty sure I know what that is. But yeah, you can zoom around, collect the spanners. The performance of game I'm really quite happy with. I've got a problem there with the explosion going on, but so there's track 1 done. So just show you track number 2. Track number 2 is not done. I'll just go on to track number 3. The reason track number 2 isn't done yet is because I've just finished the ramp code. Track number 2 has a load of ramps. Well, it has 1 ramp, I should say. And the interesting one with this is that the drones should actually adhere to the barriers. There you can see one has went through. And you know, even after all this time, I'm still not that great at Super Sprint. But you can see my blue car there got hit with got caught in the whirlwind, and you can see the drone cars getting hit with the whirlwind as well. So yeah, it's working pretty well actually. I've actually won the race there. So I'm pretty good with that one. Yeah, and let's see next track. So this is the first track where I've re-implemented the priorities. So when the sprites, the cars could go like under and over the bridge. And I had I had a huge bug in there with this, and I just had to rethink how I was doing it, and I'm so pleased with it because I'm so pleased I did, because I totally simplified the code of how the cars go under underpasses and how they go over overpasses, I guess. It's much more cleaner code, and you know, it's a lot easier to manage. But it's actually a really fun game now. And you know, I can sort of like slingshot round the round the corners now. It's really quite fun to play. Let's give this one a try. Track number 5. There's quite a few barriers on this one. Hopefully you should see the drones, but I've also implemented the oil slick and the water and the and other things that I can't remember at the minute. So you go through the mud. I should slow down, and the water's the same thing. One of the things I want to show with this game is that the detail that's in it is pretty unreal. So you can see I'm actually behind the little the arrows there, and that's because the game's running in dual player fields. So I've had to do loads of work where I've taken the track and then I've had to add sort of depth to it by each track has 2 player fields. I'm going to show that at the after I've shown each track, just how much I guess how it's done. Now this track here, this last one I've been working on, because it has the ramp on the right hand side there. So all the drones are getting killed there, which is actually quite handy. So that oil slick is placed quite well to kill them. So you can see the game's not actually slowing down. Those are huge 64 by 116 sprites. You know, that's going on there. So this is the ramp. I've got actually some code, which, you know, the first bit I want to show is when I go up towards the ramp, the car actually goes up. So I'm changing the direction of the of travel of the car. And I'm not actually moving up or down there. You'll notice it just slightly adheres to the elevation in the road, which is really cool. And what I can do is when I do that, I can do that little jump, and you'll see I got a little spark of smoke when I landed as well. And that's what I mean about the hidden depth in this game. You know, there's loads of it. If you look, you know, I can actually go behind the you know, the barrier there, and you know, that's because it's actually in dual player field, and you know, I can spin off, you know, and like kind of hit off these barriers here. So yeah, I'm super pleased with that. So what happens is if you sort of like fail to go over this little shortcut, you die. So yeah, and I'm pretty pleased with that bunch of code there. You know, the fact that it sort of like adheres to the ramp, and you know, if you want to stay safe, you can go around it. But you know, that was like a real nice addition to the game that I've done. And it allows me to do track number 2 as well, because you know, you can just sort of get things. You know, I can get track 2 done, and because that has like a ramp in it, and I'll show you that in a second. But yeah, I'm quite pleased. So I'll just go around and I'll finish this particular track, and I'll do that jump again because it's really satisfying. So yeah, just to bring up the dev environment. So I'll just explain. This is track number 6 that we're looking at here. See if I can get this to a bit better. So I've probably explained this in a previous development update, but just to recap at what it is, you've got these layers in the map, and you've got the lower layer, which looks like this, and the lower track will actually look like that. But when you overlay the upper track, you see that. So the cars can actually go around, they come over, and then they go under the underpass. So I have to work out the control of how the cars work. So they go up and over and go under, and I have to work out the priorities. And the way I do that is I use these collision maps here. Well, partially use these collision maps. So this is the collision map for the low track. So the cars can go around all of those pink spots or purple spots, and for the upper track I can do the same thing, just overlay that. That's the upper track, so the cars can go around there. If the cars veer off this purple track, the game engine then reads what is in the terrain. So I have these terrain codes. So when it veers off, it'll read these terrain codes. So number 8 going south will cause it's basically barriers effectively. And depending on which barrier you hit, the cars might do different things. The 7s and the 5s and the 8s are all just kind of ricochet the car off in a particular direction. Or it might cause the car to explode, that type of thing. So for the lower track layer, go around. There you go. And I've got the same for the upper terrain as well. And it just goes up and round there, as you can see. Now, to add a bit of extra information into it, what we've got is the lower commands. And this is where I made a change in the game. So I'll just take the terrain off. Previously, I had these checkpoints. This is what it should be called. It should be called checkpoints instead of lower commands. So I simplified this where I had the checkpoints in both the upper and lower layers. I've just moved them all into the lower layer. So basically, for track number 6, the car will start here, go around, and it's got to hit 41, 42, 43. It has to hit all of these in order for a complete lap to be registered. If it doesn't, then the car won't do the lap. So it effectively stops somebody just driving here and going around and then just basically fiddling the game. So all of the checkpoints are held in this lower commands structure that I've got. And in the upper command structure, what I did is I moved all of the elevation of how the cars work into this. And this is when the car can actually move up and down in elevation. So when it's going up a ramp, I'll set the car to go 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and then it's high up and then back down again. And then remember where we've got this little ramp here, what it does is that it reads these byte codes, and if it hits a 20, I think in this instance a 23, or maybe a 21, when it hits a 21 it just adjusts the angle of the car to point it going up, and then you get this, so it's actually going to hit up the ramp. And then similarly when it comes around here, because there's a ramp at this point, we get the car elevate up slightly and also elevate down slightly as well. So it actually knows the whole elevation of the track as well. So yeah, that's me for an update. The game is really coming along really nicely. I've just got to do the remaining tracks just to run through them. I'll just bring up paint.net and just to give a bit of insight how I'm doing these. This is paint.net. This is one of the tracks. This is track number 7, I think it is. Track number 6, sorry. So yeah, so if I take these overlays off, so that's the lower bitmap, upper bitmap, and then lower. That's how I do it. And there you go. Now notice how in the lower layer, if I just set these in the lower layer, I have to set the track to actually go into where these barriers are, and that's because it's set like such an isometric view, so the cars can actually go under these. And another really cool thing I've done is that you see the shadows that are here. The cars actually adhere to the shadows as well. So if I take that off, there's no shadow there, but in the upper layer by itself, if we take a look, we see that the actual shadows are there. So the car will be in a particular layer, and you'll actually see the shadow go over the car, or go onto the car when it's going under that underpass there. And you'll also see the shadow go onto the car when it's in this area here as well. And that's making great use of the Amiga's dual playfield in high-res interlace mode. So that's it. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's a really, really fun, quite complex game to make, or to port, I should say. It's coming along. I'm probably about 4 weeks off completing the game altogether. It's going to require a lot of testing. Sometimes the cars are just veering off, but you just got to keep working at it. But yeah, it's looking really great. I'm really pleased with progress. So yeah, let me know what you think. I'm going to do a boxed edition of the game as well, just like I did with Rygar. And I've got plans on how I'm going to do. The game will be free, but obviously the boxed edition won't be. But I might do the boxed edition for people who want to buy a box, and just hold the game up for maybe a month or something like that before you can actually download it for free. So yeah, there's a nice update on Super Sprint AGA for the Amiga, coming soon. Thanks for listening.